Hi, I'm Brigadier General Tom Mancino. I'm president of the board for the Military History Center here in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. The Military History Center is a museum that has been in Broken Arrow since 2014. We probably had 150 artifacts then, and now we're up over to displaying 2,400 artifacts. Most of our artifacts have a story, and the story is tied to a person, and we've tried to make that person an Oklahoma resident, or specifically, if possible, a Broken Arrow resident. The museum is defined by wars and by a time scale. When you come in, the first thing you'll see is Revolutionary War, the Spanish-American War. We have a special section on Native American in the military, and then the museum flows sequentially through the different eras. Right now we're filming in the World War II era, and since Bob Powell, the founder, was a World War II veteran, it has a lot, if most of the artifacts in this one room. But we also have a lot of artifacts in the other areas. We probably have the largest model collection in Oklahoma. One individual himself donated over 264 models. And these models go for everything from German to Russian to American to ships, seas, and planes. It's just a wonderful model selection. The children that visit it just love the model selection. As you go through the museum, there are a few items that you'd really want to look at. One of them in the World War II area, in a case is a Leica camera. And on the top of that camera, you can see the Luftwaffe Eagle, and inside it there's an H. And that's the way that Hitler's cameras, it's a legitimate camera. We checked out the serial numbers, but it was bought in Leningrad after the war, and the Soviets copied every kind of German thing they could and counterfeited it. So it could be a $1,000 camera, or if it was one of Hitler's photographers, it'd be a $100,000 camera. In the Vietnam era, the Tiger Cage, and specifically the whole display on Willard Parrish. Willard Parrish was a mortar man, and when he got into the Idrang Valley battle, they handed him an M60 machine gun, and he dug a foxhole. And at the end of that battle, he had run out of M60 ammunition and was standing up with 245s engaging the enemy at about 10 or 15 feet. And after the battle, there were over 100 dead bodies in front of his position. And he was awarded the Silver Star for that. If you say, okay, we're going to build it to a military museum, without ever visiting one, you're going to think about tanks and guns and weapons of war. And we have some of that, but more importantly, we have items that talked about how the soldier lived. In World War I, there's a big display on items that soldiers took to World War I, and people are amazed at how little things were. Or that they got pictures, they didn't carry their camera, they actually brought back pictures from France that were taken over there. I think the best thing about it is once they get inside the museum, they become enthralled with the number of items and the detail. And when they begin to read the stories, they begin to get a connection, and they can see how, hey, these guys from Oklahoma fought like over 350 days of continuous combat in World War II. And then the brigade fought in Korea, and then it's up to current. So the young people that come in that see these kinds of things, they get an appreciation for what it took before we got to where they are, before they started playing Call of Duty, and what a real M1 looks like, or a real Schmeiser, or a M4, and then what role it played in war. Military History Center is located on North Main Street in the Rose District. It's hard to miss because there's 9 40-foot flags up in the courtyard, and those flags fly the flags of all the services. And at the bottom of those flags are plaques that show who donated the flags, and then there's a brick walk yard where we sell bricks for $100 a brick, so you can put your loved ones, or your father, or your uncle, or your brother, or your dad, you can buy a brick and put it out there and honor him.